Hey everyone, we're Chris and Sandy with the Chris and Sandy Show, where we get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said, on every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
We have a singer, songwriter, rapper, and producer who's blending country heart with hip hop cadence. We're excited to welcome Coey Redd.
Welcome to the show.
Yes,
Thank you so much for
welcome.
having me. Thank you so much for having me.
We're excited to be here. And it's funny. Sometimes as we start, because like we had a small conversation before his, I'm like, we should have already been live on some of the stuff we were talking about.
I know. Exactly.
always
Exactly. But we'll catch everybody up. We'll catch everybody up on it. All the good stuff, all the fun stuff, you know?
So, do you have any projects that are upcoming that you
Yeah.
can tell us about?
Yeah, definitely. So right now I've been throughout the year I've been kind of just honing in and putting out singles, and I'm putting together a project, hopefully going to be an album coming out. I was hoping for fall, but I just
Yeah.
keep writing and I keep having so many amazing sessions, and so it's going to be really hard to be able to just stop the creative juices from going and just kind of I'm in that create mode right now. So it might be early next year or the end of this year is what we're hoping to kind of throw a project together. And it would be my debut album, which would be really awesome. And it'll also incorporate all the songs that I've been putting out this year and last year. So yeah, so it's really exciting. It's really cool. I love all the new stuff that we've been working on lately as well. And I can't wait for everybody to hear it. My biggest kind of my MO is always to try and have my next song beat my last song. So
Uh,
that's
Yeah.
kind of what I've been driving towards. That's been my driving force, and just constantly, yeah, creating.
but the bigger you get, the harder that will be.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially as a writer, I tell people that all the time. Coming from being a writer for so long, and people give so much flack for a lot of these really big artists that have people that write their own music for them, and I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like, I mean, obviously I write all of my own stuff now because I'm in the position to do that, and because I live a pretty normal life, you know. But I always tell people, I'm like, the smartest, most most relevant thing you can do as an artist, especially when you get to a maximum level like that, is to have give platforms to other writers and have other writers
Oh,
kind of write on
yeah.
your stuff, because it
Mhm.
makes you stay relevant. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It makes you a
Yeah.
little bit more relatable as well, because when you get to a specific level, you're not really relatable or going to the grocery store or going to Walmart like everybody else. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to have people that do all those things so that when you do put out your music, people can relate to it and they can feel like seen by you. And maybe it's not where you're at in your life now, but it was at one point, and so that's really cool too.
So what's been harder for you since you used to just write and now you're behind the mic? What's been
Ah,
harder?
I think that's such a good question, because I was petrified to kind of put myself out there on the internet, because the internet can be such a scary place. And when
Yes.
you put yourself out there, especially nowadays with comment sections and everything,
Yeah.
and I'm just one of those. I am so grateful, and I have so much gratitude to the people who do just gravitate towards my music and love my songs, that I make the like bad, bittersweet decision to read all my comments.
Mm.
Oh,
And the fact, because I feel like I'm just so grateful for the good comments, which is,
Yeah.
yes.
80% of what
Right.
I get. And I want people to be seen, and I want them to know how appreciative I am that they take their time out. There's so many artists that they can, listen to and watch and engage with their content, that I just want them to feel seen and want them to know that it's great. But on the other hand, it also mentally has you read some of these
Absolutely.
terrible things about yourself.
Yes.
Especially
So
with the
you're like,
blending of country and hip hop.
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
gets a little frustrating. So I'd say that's probably the hardest part. I mean, I'm an only child, so there's a part of me where I'm such a ham in general, and I grew up just loving attention and putting on performances in my living room for all of my cousins and parents,
Oh,
and they're like,
wow.
"Oh God, here she goes again." Um, so it's nothing like to be fearful. I think it's more so, yeah, I would say just being comfortable with yourself and
Mhm.
being super secure and just loving what you're doing and knowing that that's enough, and that your authenticity is enough, and
Mhm.
it'll attract the right people. Um, so that's been such a great, you know, kind of journey. And I feel like I've made so many great friends, not even just, I don't even like calling people fans, but like
Yeah.
just I've made so many friends through what I
Mhm.
do, and people that I'll remember forever, that even on my worst days will comment the nicest things to me and really, or share their experience, or share how my song connected them or made them feel a
So
specific
tell
way.
us a I mean, since you're going there, tell us a fan story that just blew you away.
Okay, so I have so many that come to mind.
Oh.
Um, but I would say one that made me like emotional. It made me call my mom right
Oh,
after, and I was
wow.
like in
Oh,
tears, and it was just like one of the most beautiful messages I've ever gotten. I have a few, but this one specifically, I just always come back to. Last year, I teased my song "Cry Like a Man"
Mm,
that I put
mhm.
out, and that song meant a lot to me. It was inspired by my cousin Paul, who his wife now, who's amazing, and they have a beautiful son now, which kind of contributes to the song as well. Kind of told me this story, the way we grew up, essentially, very tough, very rugged. You know, they all hunt, they all do all that, stuff.
Yeah.
And she kind of told me the story how Paul doesn't like has she'd never seen Paul cry ever, and they've been together
wow.
for
Wow.
12 years.
Wow.
So I wrote this story kind of about that, and the only time, and she's had 3 open heart transplants, and
Mm,
she said the only time
Mm.
I've seen him cry was my last one, when they thought that they didn't know if I was going to make it or not because
Wow.
of
Wow.
the pressure of that. And I was like, wow, and she's like, after that, I've seen him cry multiple times. He cried when Rhett was born. He's cried, you know what I mean? It almost like
Yeah.
opens a floodgate, and it almost makes you a man in a way. I feel like once
Mhm.
you realize that feeling, those tears are strength in so much of that. But as a man,
yeah.
there's a masculinity, there's a stigma around it of don't cry, cowboys don't
Mhm.
cry,
What,
whatever.
what's bad is
Yeah.
I cry at a Hallmark commercial. I'm just,
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
but I can remember, you're talking about health things. I can remember a couple years ago, Sandy had to get this fibroid taken out of her, and her main doctor was like, I can't do this one. It's way over my pay grade,
Yeah.
because it was huge.
It was 14 pounds. We
Oh
didn't
my
And
gosh.
and
know.
and so they sent her to a doctor. I mean, he said that if he was in that position, this is a doctor he would use, the best in Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
So we went to that doctor. They took it out. I'll never forget pacing back and forth that morning, thinking, because again, nobody knows what's going to happen. We made this major surgery. I remember him
Yeah.
calling that morning and saying, "Well, like, we did nick some things, so she's going to be
Oh
sore.
no.
She's going to be sore." So he goes, the
Oh
fibroid was
no.
stuck in all the different organs and
So
stuff
I
and
had to have a
intestines.
stent for a little
So
while
he goes,
there,
it was
but
way more than I thought.
mhm.
We got it out. It's good. And all that. And she's going to be fine. And well, I'll never forget, 6 months later, we found out that that doctor, who was the only one in Savannah that could have probably was good enough to do that surgery, died.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So if
That
he
is
would have,
crazy.
and so if we'd have waited even 6 months, she might not be here.
Wow. It's one of those crazy things. Like, health scares and stuff really put life into perspective for you.
We do.
But
Mhm.
with that being said, giving the backstory of Cry Like a Man,
Yeah.
I got this message when I was teasing it. I wasn't expecting it. And I
Mhm.
randomly
Mhm.
went through my request photo, like
Yeah.
request messages in my Instagram, and there was this man, like very big. It was like a gym picture, and he was like buff and had
Yes.
tattoos and was like a big burly dude, right?
Oh,
And he
yeah.
sent me this message, and it was like the most beautiful message, and it just made like I said, I can remember it, and I remember calling my mom crying, and I was like, this is
Wow.
Oh.
exactly why I do what I do. He basically just told me, Kobe, um, sorry, I have a very very pesky Pomeranian. He
Oh,
basically just told me, hey, I feel really comfortable sending you this message because I feel like you're never gonna see it. But he
Oh,
said,
wow.
I just
well,
want you to know that I am an Army veteran. I've done 3 tours in Afghanistan. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 little girls that I love more than anything. And sometimes I just sit in my car and cry, and I just
Mm.
have these emotions and these feels, and I feel like I can't go to anybody about it.
Wow.
And because just being a man, I feel like I have this responsibility to be tough all the time. And I
Yeah.
just want you to know that I sat, even just with your snippet, I sat in my car and I just felt that so
Mm.
deeply. And I cried for a good 10 minutes
Wow.
after the gym. And I just want you to know how much that song really meant to me. And and he was like, keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to what anyone has to say. Your lyrics spoke to me in a way that no song ever has. And I just really appreciate you. Thank you for that
Wow.
song. And I
So
was
you're
like,
breaking society norms here.
oh, yeah. And it really, just getting a message like that and just
Mm.
knowing that something that you wrote just touched someone's life that deeply that they just felt seen, even just for
Yeah.
that 5
Yeah.
minutes is just that's what you do it for. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, that's exactly what you do it for. And my mom's like, "Well, are you gonna write him back?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know if I should. I don't want him to
Yeah.
feel a specific way."
Right.
But, and be like, "Oh, crap," like I did,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I just let all this out, but it was really beautiful to me. And I think it was also a turning point for me to realize that, like, regardless of my down days, I have to remember things like that.
Mhm.
There might be a lot of people that don't like what I'm doing, but that's okay because there's a lot of people that do love what I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to remember. And it's authentic to me. And storytelling is what I've always said that my journey is. So
I love that. A lot of people, they see the glory in everything you do, but they don't see that grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles of what it takes to make it at any level in music. And
yeah.
nobody really talks about this side of it. But on our show we do, because I want to make sure it's always raw. So tell us about that side of how do you handle that side of the grind that it takes?
I mean, I'm still in the grind, baby. um, yeah, I mean, it's to a point where, a lot of people look at like my followings or look at my engagement on social media or look at, everything. And, social media is such one of those, and I'll be the first one to tell you, it is all BS. Don't let
Yeah.
anyone tell
Yeah.
you anything. Like, it is all smoke and mirrors. And that's really what it is, to a point where people probably assume that I, lived like this lavish thing, or I have this, that, or the other. Like, I am still to a point where I believe in what I'm doing so much that it would be easy for me to take a deal or take, something, but I'm completely independent all the way around.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
No
awesome.
publisher, no label, no nothing. I have a great manager that's been with me from the jump, from when I
Yeah.
started kind of, gaining traction on TikTok, but that's about it. And I've told him from the jump, and I can't tell you how many meetings I've had in Nashville, especially when I first came here, and people were like, "Oh, do you want to sign? Do you want this?" And I'm like, "No, I want to pave my way
You want the
here,
Yeah.
right deal. You
Partner
I
don't
on.
want
want
a
well,
deal. You want the
Mhm.
right deal.
it's that too, and it's also I don't want I am such a creative person, and I have such a vision for what I want,
Yeah.
that I want full creative control of what I'm doing. And I believe in myself. I believe in my fans. I believe in what I'm doing. I
Mhm.
believe in my authenticity and the way that I'm going about things, that I think that I want to be a story for somebody
Yeah.
of, you can get it on your own and it's okay. And I've done that to a fact of, I still work in a restaurant on weekends
Oh wow.
to pay for my own
Yeah.
living. And then everything that I make from music, I reinvest back into myself.
Right.
I
Mhm.
like laugh and tell my mom, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, the first thing when something, I don't know what song it's going to be, but the first big song, I was like, I cannot wait to take just like a 2-day vacation."
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I was just telling my boyfriend, I was like, I don't think I've had a vacation in like 3 years. It's literally, I
Wow.
work
Mhm.
every weekend, and during Monday through Friday, I'm in sessions, or I'm doing interviews, or I'm doing, working, filming content, or I'm always doing shows around Nashville. I'm always keeping myself extremely busy. But in the end, the hustle pays off. And I also want people to know that I respect the country world so much here and the talent here, and I understand how talented all of these people are that are here, the most talented in the world. And I've lived in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, the Bay Area, everywhere. And I have told everybody, I'm like, I want to get my footing here the right way. I don't want to just sign a deal because I have followers and this, that, and the other. Like, I want to put in the groundwork and work for my success and have people be like, no, I remember seeing Coey when she was playing for 4 people at, Ray's Rowdy, or I remember seeing her at the listening room. Like, I really want to pay my dues here. And that's been really important to me and part of kind of my journey, I would
Yeah,
say, for
that's kind
sure.
of like with this show. I feel the same way. It's like, it's been a grind. It's not making no money. But we do it because we love it. And I really love doing all of this. I love bringing people like you on the show, but it's been a grind. We've done 600 interviews since we started. And,
Wow, that's
and,
amazing.
and the first year, which was in 2020, we did 300 in that one year. We had to slow down since then, but
Yes.
and
That was a
it
lot.
because again,
Wow.
with COVID, COVID happened, and then it really took things off for the show itself. And it was just a grind so much through that. So I definitely I love having the conversations about the grind and sacrifice and all that with artists because we
Yeah.
can relate.
Oh, for sure. But to be fair, though, I will say you guys are doing a kick-ass job by you've had some really cool people on your show. As far as Randy Travis, you were saying Brian from the Backstreet Boys. I feel like
Yes.
my
My favorite. Yeah.
mid 90s baby heart is just like, oh my God,
Yes.
Brian from the Backstreet Boys.
That's how I was.
So I mean, that's awesome, like you guys are killing it, and that's all you can do is just love what you're doing and just
Yes,
Exactly.
being
absolutely.
authentic and being genuine. That's another big thing, is just being, true to yourself and not letting, like I said, this entertainment in general, whether it's podcasting, whether it's music, movies, can be really hard and really want to change you or harden you or bitter you mentally. And as long as
Mhm.
you just realize that, nothing will ever change who you are as a person, regardless of what
Yeah.
happens around you. You just got to keep going.
One of my buddies asked, "Do you know who Harry Correa is?"
Know who No, I do not know who that is. I
he's
do not
another.
know
He's
how that
another.
is.
Yeah, it's a square table. His name's Joe. He's another podcaster like me.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay. I
So
love that.
us podcasters are like y'all in music. Kind of, we have to kind of tell
Family. Yeah.
family like.
Yeah, everyone's got to kind of like rise up and support each other, and I always like to say that to people because in anything, I'm sure with you guys, with especially in the female country space, especially, I kind of blend what I do, so it's a little bit different. But even in the country space, it's very cutthroat, and
Yeah.
it's sad
Yeah.
because when I first came here, I was just excited because I was like, oh, I'm gonna meet all these different girls and that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, and we could be friends and we could make charcuterie boards and hang out and do all this fun stuff together and make music and support each other and kind of rise up. And there was a couple girls that were like, oh no, like it's not like that here. It's very, competitive. And I was like, but why? There's room for all of us to eat at the table. It's not like every
Yeah.
girl is writing the same exact song,
Right.
like everyone
Mm.
has their own stories to tell and their own way and their own
And you're
aesthetic
as
and their
unique as they
own.
come.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's funny too, because I get so much flack for how I dress and how I do things. But I'm also like, okay, would you rather me like just pretend to be something I'm not, just to blend in, to be more fit your criteria of what you think something is? Like, I'm just going to be myself, and wear what I like and wear what I think is fun and design clothes. And, that's all you can really ask for.
I love that. Joe's been. He said him and I had Tiffany on the same day. The pop stars Tiffany.
Yes. Pop
Oh,
singer.
Tiffany.
She's back in the '90s country, and I mean not
No,
country, not '90s pop,
80s pop.
'80s pop.
Late 80s pop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
The
Is she
song
the
I Think We're Alone Now, I think was her biggest song. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
Okay,
known as
so
the mall girl back in the day. So
oh my gosh, how funny.
well,
Yeah, no, my mom is a big 80s fan, so I'm very knowledgeable in 80s movies, 80s country,
yeah,
80s music,
those
80s
are the
pop music,
best.
80s
Those
rock,
are
everything. Like I know all that stuff. So
the
I
best.
love that. So let's go back a little bit. When was the aha moment for you that you were like, wow, this could be a career?
as far as writing or
Uh,
as far as
All
like
of it.
artistry,
It's
all of it.
artistry in general.
Oh man, I think my mom could show you some videotapes of me when I was like 8 years old. I would grab my boombox and I would go outside in the backyard and I would put on full performances for frogs out there and just live my best life. I've always just gravitated towards music and I've loved it. I loved sounds, and it wasn't even just. It's funny because um, I also love a lot of this is kind of like a something that a lot of people don't know about me, but I love Latin music too.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
I don't speak a lot of Spanish, like
Yeah.
very little, but growing up I was obsessed with Selena like everybody
Oh,
else. And
Selena.
so I used to have my mom buy me the Selena live CD and I would
Mhm.
go in the back and I would sing it. I had no idea what I was saying, but I would just try and mimic all her words because I didn't speak
Yeah.
Mm,
Spanish.
yeah.
But I just loved music in general, and it didn't matter what sound. I just loved the sounds. I loved everything, and it kind of changed for me. I would say at like 7 or 8 years old,
Mhm.
because in my brain I thought that I wanted to be like them, you
Ah,
know.
Yeah.
And so in my brain, when you're young like that, you have this perception that if you're listening to Shania Twain, you think that Shania Twain made the song, wrote the song,
Yes.
produced the song.
Mhm.
Your little
Right.
brain kind of
yeah.
absorbs it as
Yeah.
this is Shania Twain's album. She did everything on this album. And if I want to be as good as her, I need to write songs as good as her.
Oh,
And
somebody from
so,
Ireland.
oh wow, hi Ireland. But that was kind of my train of thought was if I want to be, like these people that I love their music, I need to write like them. So I
Yeah.
started writing songs at like 8, 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
And they were like poems at that point. I don't even want to know what I was writing about at 8 or 9 years old, to be honest. Um, and actually my parents found my book
Mm.
and
Oh,
my parents read it, and I remember my mom was telling me the story. She was like, "We found your book, and your dad was freaking out. He's like, "What is she talking about? Who is this boy she's talking about? She's like 8 years old. What's going on?" They were probably like, "Oh my gosh, is she going to be 12 and pregnant soon? Like, what's going on? She's talking about love. She's talking about all these things." And my mom's
funny.
like, "I don't think that this is a journal. I think that these are songs."
Yes.
And that's exactly what they were. But, it just kind of started from there. And then I was really serious about it and I was doing like little local things and stuff growing up. And I remember coming to and I rode dirt bikes my entire life. And I also did horseback riding for a little bit and played softball. And my parents were like, "Well, what do you want to do? You can't do like 12 different things. You need to pick." And I was like, "Well, I love dirt bikes and I love music." And they're like, "Okay, let's focus on that." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I started mowing lawns, and then I found a songwriter coach that went to Berklee College of Music
Huh.
randomly, and I would mow lawns, and I would pay him $100 every month for songwriting classes. And basically, he would go over
Wow.
everything that he learned in songwriting classes at Berklee College of Music and would teach it
Oh,
to me at
Oh,
like
wow.
11, 12 years old.
wow.
And yeah, so that was kind of like my aha. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Like I love it. It's always evolving. It's always challenging me. I love it.
So your debut album, the single "Church,"
Yes.
cracked the iTunes top 50. If the music industry was a church, what role would you be playing in the service? Would it be the preacher, the choir, the usher, or the rebel in the back row?
Ooh, I think I would be the usher. I talk way too much. I don't want to I want to meet everybody, shake everyone's hand,
Yeah.
kind of usher everybody in, because when
Mhm.
I think about that, it's always the people with a lot of personality that are always like, "Come on in, let's
Yes.
go. Here, you're gonna
Mhm.
sit here. Let's go." I would definitely be the usher for sure. I think that's a good question.
I love that. So as you know, everybody sees you, but they don't see the team behind you. In our opinion, teams never get any love. On our show, they get
Never
some love.
do.
Whether you got a team of one or a team of 300, doesn't matter. A team is a team. So take
Oh
a few
yeah.
moments and just tell us about the team that's behind you.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Honestly, the best. Where do I even start? Okay, well, I made a comment about my manager Nick Littman, who's basically saw me exactly who I am from the start.
Oh, wow.
I'm so grateful for him. He's basically become like a second dad to me, to be
Mhm.
honest. Like, I mean, I send his daughters like birthday gifts and Christmas gifts for her bar mitzvah. I sent her a
Oh,
cake. We're family at this point. And like genuinely, like I think it goes both ways when he says that he would do anything for me and I'd do anything for him. I would also say I also have a new kind of ground manager here, Nico, who's fantastic, who totally gets it as well, who is just a hustler like me. And I think that's how we kind of relate with each other is he's just a go-getter and he's fantastic. And he's somebody that I really was like wanting because Nick's busy and doing things and in LA and running a label and doing all this stuff that I was like, I need somebody that's like on that grind with me out here.
Yeah.
yes,
And Nico's
right.
been just such a great asset too, and just like somebody who's just so fun. And like I said, I just respect his grind and his hustle so much. um I would say one of the biggest parts of my team from day one, A1, is my boyfriend Justin,
Hmm. Oh,
who
Mhm.
literally I don't know I would even be sitting here on this couch if it wasn't for him, and I don't say that lightly. I started as a writer and I always wanted to be an artist, but I was so scared to put myself out there. And he came from the YouTube world and immediately just believed in me so much and was like, "What are you doing? Like, I'm going to make
oh,
videos
wow.
for you. I'm going to edit him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If I don't know how to do something, I'm going to learn it because I believe in you
Oh,
so
wow.
much." And literally it started during COVID and he's still editing my videos and we get in a few
Oh, wow.
tiffs, a few creative tiffs every now and then. I'm sure as
Yeah.
you guys can relate, sometimes when you are being creative together and working
Yes.
together, it can get like,
Mhm.
you know. um but he's literally the I'm the kite and he's my rock for sure. He keeps me so grounded. He's I can't tell you how many cliffs he's walked me off. And yeah, he's just been kind of like my kind of saving grace throughout this entire journey. To be honest, that's really kept me level headed, kept me humble, kept me grounded, and also been honest with me about everything. And that's really one of the most important things I feel like in this industry is once you start kind of gaining
Mhm.
momentum and getting success, is you have so many yes men in your corner
Then it goes to
that
your
don't
head.
Yeah.
that and then also they tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And Justin's never been that. He's always told me what I need to hear. But
Oh, that's so
it's
important.
it but
That's good.
it's gotten me to where I'm at. And I think it's what's kept me at such a healthy mental state within the past, especially year and a half or so. Um, but also there's two other people on the backside of music stuff, I will say. Max Gabriel, who
Mhm.
was the first producer out here to give me a chance. Um, when I first came out here, he was the only producer. I had 13 sessions lined up, and every single one of them canceled on me
Oh,
except for
wow.
him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was the only one. And we went in there, and the first song we wrote was Cry Like a Man.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then we did church and then we did wild card, and that was back in 2022. um and so it's been a journey, and I make sure he's almost like an like he executively oversees almost everything that
Mhm.
I put out. Even if I work with the other producers or whatever, I'm like, Max, what do you think? And he's like, oh, let me add this banjo, or let me add this, or let me hit up this person for pedal steel. um, and then also I would say my mix engineer is fantastic too, JJ. He's fantastic and really believes in me a lot and is just such a positive person, and even if something doesn't sound the way I want it, he's like, don't stress. We'll get it. We'll get it there. Don't worry about it. I'll work on it, Just such a great person to have in your corner and talented beyond belief. So yeah, I'm really lucky, honestly.
I
I
love that.
I've had so many great real people in my corner, and I feel like that's what's also kept me, like I said, little Coey Redd at a humble place.
Speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our 13-year-old.
Oh,
So
I love that.
Sandy's going to go get him. He always asks a
I'll
couple
get him
questions.
for a couple
Oh, I
questions.
love that.
So,
Yes.
so while she's getting him, was there ever a moment that you were just ready to give up and quit? And what stopped you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think everybody kind of has those moments, and then they have those aha moments afterwards. Because I really truly believe that when people quit, they were just one moment away from getting
Mhm.
everything they wanted. And so I always have to remind myself of that you can't give up. You've come this far now. And also, it's like I always think of it this way, and I'll have those moments where I'm like, oh, I'm done, I'm over it, and then I come back to, well, what the hell else am I gonna do? Like like this is it. Like this is all it's one of those things when you have a purpose and you have something that that you're great at. That what else, even if you want to give up, it's like, okay, then I know I can't ever really give up. It's almost like this invisible contract that you sign. But there was a moment, yeah, when I first came out here, it was really, really difficult. Like I said, I came out here in 2022 before the real big country influx happened with a lot
Mhm.
of I mean, country was, in that direction for
Yeah.
sure, but yeah, I came out here and I think I was just a little bit ahead of the curve, which was great too, because now people are kind of recognizing that of, oh no, Coey's been here has been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't just like a overnight kind of like I just started putting out this music last year. It was, we've been working and laying the groundwork for it. So, but yeah, no, it was really hard at first because I just was getting shut down everywhere. Even producers didn't want to work with me. Nobody wanted to write with me because
Wow.
they didn't really know what to expect. And I was so different that it was a little bit like, "Ugh, I don't know. That's nerve-wracking."
And that's your superpower.
Exactly, exactly. And now every time I go into a session, I'm expecting to like write something really cool, a country song, and they're like, "Hey, can you rap on this?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah." I'm like, "I thought we were just gonna write and catch a vibe, but I mean, if you want a feature, like,
I
hi
love it.
there."
Hey, Coey. So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Ooh, that's a good one. You know, I am Italian, and I gotta say, it's always been the same. My grandma's spaghetti, she passed away a few years ago, but I swear she made the best Sunday gravy in the world, to the point where I can't even have red sauce anywhere else. So I would say RIP, RIP Nona, but yeah, I would say my grandma's spaghetti. My grandma's gravy was, yeah, by far the best.
My favorite food is pizza.
Oh, I love that. What kind of pizza though?
Pretty much any kind of pizza, like pepperoni, sausage, supreme, cheese, any kind of pizza.
Just
Okay, so
pizza.
this is the big question. Okay, are you ready for this? Do
Yeah.
you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yes.
You do.
Mhm.
I like pineapple on mine too.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites actually.
Like little pineapple jalapeno
Uh-huh.
pepperoni action.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
See,
like
we could share a pizza together.
definitely. Oh my goodness. All right, I got another question. So, what's one of the
Okay.
coolest experiences you've had on your journey so far?
Ooh, the coolest experience on my journey so far. Well, this is gonna be really funny. This is an early Coey story. So way back when, I got invited to perform at a Super Bowl pre-party in Indianapolis, and I was like 17 years old. I was like super young. It was like my first trip away from my parents. And we went to this, and I was supposed to open for J. Cole, which was really cool. And that was
Oh,
back when
wow.
J. Cole was like really starting to like pop off. And he had, like Power Trip was like big, and Wet Dreams, and he had like a bunch of hip hop stuff. And mind you, I was still living in Vacaville, like outside that there. And that was kind of how I got my start, was, doing the I kind of incorporated myself in like the hip hop scene out in that world. So I got the opportunity. I was super excited. Of course, it was a 24-hour trip to Indianapolis. It was my first trip away from my parents as a teenager, and I thought I was so grown and so cool. And I was going to open for J. Cole. And we get there to this venue, and it is wild. I mean, like, it was wild. It was wild, wild. I mean, there were girls twerking before twerking was even twerking. I mean, it was getting pretty loose, and I was like, all right. And at that point, I was kind of doing a little bit more popish hip hop type stuff. Definitely not like J. Cole Rome.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is either going to be really awkward. And so I would kept going out. I kept leaving the dressing room, and I would go downstairs to the bathroom, and I would be like, hey, and I would talk to all the girls. I'd be like, listen, I'm going to go on before. So here's the deal. Make sure you just dance to my songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't make me feel awkward, girl. Like, girl to girl, like, hey. And they were like, okay, yeah, we got you. We got you. And I was like, okay. And so I kept doing that. So I was making friends with all these like girls, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And there was like this little performer guy that went on before me, and bless his heart, it was, and he ended up leaving, like walking off stage, like
Oh,
halfway through
wow.
his song, because they just like didn't do anything for him, and he was nervous. And so I grabbed the mic and went out there and performed, and they were getting turned to pop music. It was the funniest thing. And from what I heard, I didn't hear it, but I heard that J. Cole turned to one of the stage guys. He told me afterwards and was like, yo, did that little white girl just go out there and do that? And he was like, yeah. He was like, man, she's got watermelons in her pants. Like, that's wild. Like, I was not expecting that. So the fact that I heard that J. Cole said that about me was kind of a cool moment, I would say, for sure.
It- you
But
know,
you can't be afraid, you just got to go out there and do it. And like I said, love what you're doing, and people will see that.
in
Oh.
2021 was our first time visiting Nashville.
Okay,
And-
this was my coolest
And
experience.
and I'll tell the story a little bit. But we just got out we went to the hotel, checked in, and we drove downtown. We parked. So we just got to downtown, and we're walking, and we're in front of Honky Tonk Central, and this guy comes out of there with a drumstick and hands him. And how old were you then?
Probably around 9 or something.
Nine or 10, but gave him the drumstick. Said the drummer wanted him to have that. That was a weird thing,
Really?
but so we didn't think nothing of it. So he took the drumstick. We thought that was pretty cool. So we walk across the street, and then now we're listening to the music from the outside on Broadway of Dierks Bentley Row, and
Uh-huh.
the lady singer looked out the window and seen that he had a drumstick in his hand. So she jumps off stage and says, you want to play the drums with us for a song? So they pull him through the window, because he's like, oh, of course. So they pull him through the window. And of course, I'm coming too, because I'm going to film this. And they put him on the drums. So he just gets to hit them while they're playing Summer of '69.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And that was, we just got on Broadway. I mean, it was that was our moment of Nashville introduced to us.
That was so great. When's the last time you guys came out here, you said?
It's been about 2 years. We come, even though the first time was we did like 4 or 5 trips in 21, 4 or 5 trips in 22, but haven't been since.
Yeah.
It's been
You have to come
money's
back
been
out.
tight.
I feel that. I know everything is so expensive.
So we're
these days.
trying we want to make a visit. If not this year, definitely for sure next year.
Oh yes, you have to come out. It is a fun. I will say, I always warn people. I'm like, wait till either the fall or the spring to come, because we're in the middle of summer right now.
Well, you
And
got to
it is
remember, I'm in
hot.
Savannah, Georgia. We're
Oh, so
hotter.
you're hot. You guys are hot out there too. So you understand. You're like, maybe we'll wait till it cools down a little bit. I would say even October is fantastic to come because it's like
What's
cool
funny is
down.
Nashville, though, is one of, as you know, it can be for October, it can be 20 degrees or it could be 90.
Exactly. You never know. Or it could just start raining.
Oh.
My favorite thing that I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, the beautiful thing about Nashville, you get all 4 seasons in one day sometimes. You know? You can exercise all your clothes.
I think that's it for my questions.
All your questions.
Mhm.
All right.
What, so wait, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he told me that you get to ask people different questions every
Mhm.
time. Who has been your favorite guest that you've had?
Oh, that'd be tough. Well, my favorite guest would probably, let's see. It's very tough because there's been so many guests on here. I would probably have to say maybe the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, that was probably fun. What question
Mm.
did you ask them? Any good questions? Any juicy
Uh-huh.
questions?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I did ask some pretty good questions. I did.
I bet.
Because that
I
was
bet
in
he has.
21.
I bet he has
Mhm.
a lot of crazy stories, especially being in a
Uh,
boy band like that throughout the
oh,
2000s.
definitely.
Yeah, and it's amazing. When we went to when we had Brian Luttrell on, or I guess his name's Littrell. I don't know why we call it his spelled like Luttrell. But when we had Brian on, it was him, his wife, and his son.
Oh
And
wow!
so it was really cool. So we got to hear their marriage story, how it started, how they
Oh
had to,
wow!
they literally for a while had to hide that they even married because he was such at the top that people would threaten her life.
Oh my goodness!
So they literally had to keep them apart at certain points, not trying to deceive people, but trying to keep her safe. It was,
Oh, I bet.
it
And
was wild.
to be fair, it is one of those things. It's funny because sometimes I totally understand that because I mean I'm not at the level of
Yeah.
the Backstreet Boys yet, I will say, but I will say that it is one of those things where even I get a little bit nervous to kind of post even personality stuff sometimes or just personal things about my life, just because it can get a little scary sometimes. You never know. It's funny. My boyfriend's really funny. Anytime I post anything with him, he's like, "No, take it down. You're supposed to appear available, but just don't be available." It makes you more desirable. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? But my boyfriend's telling me that. He's like, it's part of it, like, it's part of entertainment, Like, you almost, even like labels and people will tell you that, even if you have relationships and stuff like that, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a spouse or whatever, they almost want you to kind of keep that personal. And honestly, you don't really want people diving into that side of your life. You're already giving so much of yourself to everybody that sometimes it's nice to just have a little piece of yourself.
And the bad thing is, if they know you're dating someone, that's when the girls or the guys try to move harder because they think, let's see if I can break them up.
True. True. Oh yeah. No, yeah. It's crazy. I can't tell you. I try and just be kind and just kind of okay, that's scary. Some of the things I would say Facebook is the wild west for
Yeah.
sure in things like that. But I also what scares me the most is because they have so many scam profiles
Oh, yeah.
on
That's horrible.
Facebook. It makes me so nervous in a way sometimes because, I feel like Facebook is a little bit older of a demographic as well. So they're not as like hip to scam accounts as much. And I can't tell you how often I've gotten comments from people that are like, baby, I sent you money and now you don't talk to me anymore. Like, where are you? And I'm like, oh no. Like,
Oh,
no,
wow.
like, you know what I mean? And so it scares me because I'm like, they really think that it was me, but it's not me. I only have one profile. I don't, have
And of course,
multiple.
Facebook don't want to take those profiles down because it makes
No,
it to where the artists have to get the blue check.
I know. I know. It's so awful. It's so honestly, it's frustrating as artists too, because it's also unsafe,
Mm,
because especially when these scam accounts and stuff are asking for money and stuff, they're going to assume it's you. And I don't, who knows what type of repercussions, if somebody thinks that they're sending me money and then I just ghost that, like,
or
they're
thinks
gonna
they're
try and
dating
find
you.
out. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of scary, and it's frustrating too, because I'll, try and tell people, and I try and keep up with it as much as possible, but it's almost impossible at this point because anybody can make a profile, you
Yep.
know. But let this be known, I only have one Facebook, and it's the Coey Red Facebook. I only have one. It's all just Coey Red, and that's it. There's no second or whatever. I've even had like random people try and pose as my manager, like not
Oh
Nick,
wow.
but just saying that I have a manager, and to reach out to people. It's gotten kind of loopy, honestly. I'm like, who are these people? Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even like Taylor Swift, Like, come on.
So with all this that's happening and you're blowing up right now, where do you want to be in 5 years?
Oh, 5 years. I definitely want to be touring for sure. Ultimately, so it's kind of my dream within a dream. So as I was saying before, songwriting, storytelling is my dream. I want to take music as far as I can possibly go. It's my gift. It's what I love doing. But I also love script writing. I
Wow.
got really into writing pilots and screenplays and stuff in 2020, and I've always said that because at some point, I want to get married, and I want to have babies, and I want to, live on a farm and have Highland cows and some chickens that I name after the the pink ladies and the T-birds. That's like my dream.
Oh wow.
So ultimately, yeah, and I just want to be a writer. And I want to write. I want to, make music for as long as I possibly can, and then just kind of sit back and have babies and write music and write movies, maybe even direct.
Like who's got probably to me the best lifestyle out there is Billy Ray Cyrus.
Really?
Because think about it. He wrote he did the one song that put him at the top back in the day, back in the 90s. Um, and he ain't done much since then. So he's been able to live off the royalties and all this. And then he just recently, I think, collabed with someone else. And now he's back on top with something else. So he's not had to do a whole lot.
I mean, he has had like the like crazy career revisions if you think about it,
Yeah.
because he did "Achy Breaky Heart," then he did "Hannah
Yep.
Montana," then he did the Lil Nas X song that was everywhere.
But
He
he's
really
been,
has. He's
but again,
reinvented
it's not
himself a
like a
lot.
steady grind. It's been like
True.
everything he does, it takes off. And then he don't have to
Oh
do nothing for
yeah.
a while. Then the next thing he does takes off, and then he don't have to do nothing for a while.
You know who's like that too, who I feel like doesn't get enough credit for doing like as much stuff as he's done,
Mhm.
is Tim McGraw.
Oh yeah,
He does acting,
yeah, he does a lot.
he does music, and then he also tours, and then he's also, a dad and like a husband, and so it's really admirable, honestly, to be able to balance everything like that and be able to kind of also stay creative all these years, and also, do what you love, and also be a family man, or just,
It's-
is really admirable for sure.
that's definitely tough. So, speaking of how tough everything is and all that, let's look even further down the road. Say 20 years down the road, and let's say you are a success on a grand scale. Whatever that looks like for you, you feel like you've made it. What do you hope you never forget along that journey?
Oh, that's such a good question. Um, Kind of like I was saying before, to never lose sight of who I am, where I come from, to always be kind, always be gracious, always have gratitude. Like I said, never forget all of the people, and also, like I said, have gratitude for how far I have come.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes, this industry is like a never ending marathon without a finish line. You're always
yeah.
fighting to be relevant, you're always fighting to be something. That sometimes it's okay to step back and look behind you and pat yourself on the back and be like, no, I did this. Like, I
Smell some
dreamed of
roses.
doing this. I come from a pretty small town. I mean, Vacaville is a pretty small town, and I was actually telling my best friend, I have, all my friends and stuff are starting to have kids, and they send me videos of their kids singing and dancing to my
Wow.
songs. And one of my friends has a, now a teenager, which is crazy to think about. She got pregnant when we were in high school, and now he's, like junior high, it's just crazy. And he thinks that I'm like so cool, and growing up, I never had anybody that just stayed persistent and stayed with my dream and didn't care what people thought, didn't care if people laughed at me or like, oh my gosh, she's in her late 20s still doing this and whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, I think that that's really cool and really impressive. And I love that. I love inspiring people. And I think just having gratitude for that. And like I said, looking back and patting myself on the back and being like, you know what? I did that,
Mhm.
you know? Um,
And they
because you
can't
just
take it away.
exactly. You just have to be grateful and gracious of and basically stay humble in the fact of yes, you did um overall just it could all go away tomorrow,
Yeah.
Just love the opportunities that you've been given and be grateful that God put you in positions that you're in and just but just stay kind altogether.
I love that. As we come to our last question here, what advice would you give that person that wants to do what you do?
Just do it. Do it. That is literally I such a Nike slogan, but I spent so much time being so scared to put myself out there, and then the second that I did, and I put all of that anxiety and fear of feeling, "How do I do it?" or "I'm gonna look stupid. What if my video gets 10 views? What if," and people are gonna laugh at me or think I'm this or think I'm just do it. Just do it because you will be miraculously surprised, and music is so subjective.
Mhm.
So what you might think, "Oh, that's not very good." Somebody might be like, "This is amazing. This is
Yeah.
everything that I wanted an artist to write about." Just do it. Just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Don't listen to all the back noise. Don't listen to anything else. If you love it, be authentic to yourself and do it and do what you love. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to be 40, 50 years old thinking back like, "Man, I really wish I would have done that because I saw X, Y, and Z do it and I
Mm.
could have done that." So just do it.
Love that. So as we end here, tell everybody how they can find you.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, thank you all for tuning in so much. You can find me at Coey Redd on all platforms, CoeyRedd. I always tell people, like I was telling you before, think Joey, but with a C. With that being said, and then I think my YouTube is going to be official Coey Redd. And yeah, Coey Redd everywhere.
I love it. We definitely loved having you on, and
Thank you so much for having me. It
you're
was
always
so
welcome to come
fun.
back. And you're always welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you. It was so fun talking with you.
Same here.
Alrighty, I'll see you
Okay.
next
Okay.
time.
Okay.